Hey, how's it going? Welcome again to the TJ Money Show, and where we talk about anything and everything around money, and specifically in the space of property, in the space of business. And again, if your life is not in a good space, how best can you do business? So we also talk about general life. My name is TJ, and today we are going to be talking about, can a new business buy a property? It's a question that someone else has asked me. They pop me a question and say, TJ, I want to start a business, but can a new business buy a property? So we all know property is an asset. And if a business is new, let's just assume that the business was started, let's say, yesterday. Can it actually buy an asset? That is the real question here that they are asking us. And the short answer to that is a resounding yes. But because this person is asking, they probably don't know. And my job on this show is to help us to increase the cash flow on our balance sheet. Yeah, income statement, increasing that so that there is more cash and we can be able to buy more assets, and that thus increases our balance sheet. Yeah, that's what this show is all about. My goal is to make sure that in your bank account there is more cash coming in. So if buying this property is going to increase your business, then it is my business on this show. So welcome aboard. If you've been here before and you've never subscribed, the time is now to subscribe. And as and when we are having these conversations, ladies and gentlemen, I want to hear from you. So whatever topic that we are discussing for that particular day, if you got something to say, let me know in the comments. Because with that, I learn. And with that, you also get to learn a little bit better. And for those that are going to just be viewers only and they blue tickers like on WhatsApp, what happens? They also get to learn awesome stuff. On a serious note, let's jump into it. Can a new business buy property? In a nutshell, the answer is a resounding yes. But how then? That is the real question. So I want to give you guys a short story of myself when I started off in business. Obviously, I was employed at the time and I registered my company. And when I registered my company, the thing was that in that company, there was nothing. And I do think that a lot of companies also sit in the same space, or first-time shareholders, first-time directors, when they get to that first business, in most cases in their business, there is nothing, zero. Yeah. So how then do they buy an asset? It is important to understand that out there, there are so many products. Remember the bank's vision and the bank's coexistence is that the banks wants to sell money to us. So if you're going to be buying an asset that is going to give you money and you can showcase that, the bank is willing to give you money because it's literally selling money to get money. And you are the vehicle that is going to make them that money. Does it make sense? Okay, good. So now that we've got that, let's understand what is the trick. Here we are talking particularly about buying a property, be it is an asset of a property that you're going to be staying in as the director of the business, or as a property that you're buying for the purposes of investment, or it's a property that you're buying whether it's a warehouse for your business, or it's a property where you're going to be buying it for the purposes of your offices. Whatever it's going to be, I want to be able to answer that question. Now, there are people that look for money. There is people that go out there to look for money. For people like you and me, they are called bond originators. A lot of us, let me speak to a point when you understand them. Bond originators, right? Now, there are those that are bond originators in the business space. So we can call them money finders. I like to call them that. But the bottom line is that they are bond originators. What is a bond originator? Someone who understands the property itself and they will understand your financials, and then they go out and then they look for the right money. You don't pay them, the banks pay them. Same applies when you're doing a business, right? You can approach a commercial money finder, yes, bond originator, and they can go and look for the money for you. In some cases, you may have to pay them 1%, 3%. I've seen the West, I think maybe 5%. And out of that, they go and look for money for you to buy this property that you're looking for. So let's not complicate things. You are a manager at your current employer and you are looking to buy a new property. And this property is going to be an investment property. So now you have gone out there and you have registered your first company. Yes. And now you are wanting to buy that first property as an investment to create a business. The question now is, can you do that? Yes, you can. So what do you need? Number one, you are going to need a clever bond originator. Why do I say a clever bond originator? There are bond originators out there and there are bond originators. Why do I say that? It's like, you know, when you're at a complex and you get to have a security guard right in front there, right? And then there's those security guards that just let anyone come in, go past. You ask them, did you see my wife coming in? They're like, your wife? And they have no idea what you're talking about. It's that guy is still a security guard, but he's not just vigilant. But then there comes another guy, who's another security guy from a different company. And this guy, before you even ask him, he tells you already, your wife went out. Or there was a blue car that came in. Or I told your mother that you're not here and she says she's coming back. That guy is vigilant. He's a good security guard. He's aware. He knows all his people. So if anyone is to come in to be an intruder, that guy is able to actually know that, no, this guy doesn't belong at the checks. You get what I mean? So coming back to the bond originator, there are bond originators and there are bond originators. Find the clever bond originator to work with. If you don't know anyone, hit me up. hello@turajak.com. But in the comments below, we can put in the details of some of the bond originators that we have worked with over the years that find money for companies that opened yesterday. Yeah. Or even companies that opened today. They don't have a name yet. They got that number. I think they call it a K number. And they go out to the bank and they get money. So it's about the bond originator. The second one is that you as the individual or the director who is going to represent this company, because remember the company is an entity on its own and you as an individual are an entity on your own. So what typically happens is that you as the person, the director within the individual, you actually also need to be having a stable income. If you don't have a stable income, no bank, I think potentially all the banks are not willing to sell you any money. However, there are some banks, I've seen some of them, boutique banks, yeah. They're very small banks, they're out there, there are not so many of them. They will be able to say, if you do not have a consistent income, like maybe on a monthly basis, but you're one of those people that get paid maybe on a quarterly basis, or you're not on a monthly basis, let's just call it that, but you have an income. Maybe you're a salesperson, that kind of thing. They can accommodate you. Yes, I have seen those kind of banks. But the bottom line is that as an individual, you need, or as the director of the business, you need to have some form of an income. Then the third thing that will happen is that the bank will vet you as the director of the business, and then they will give the debt to the company, and then you will carry, the director, you will carry the surety of that. So even if your company has nothing in it, you just registered it yesterday, yes, this is how the bank will be able to give you money to buy your property in your new business. Right. Now, because your business now is got this property as the first property, the question that we should be asking yourself is that now that you have this property, what now? Well, can you buy a second property? Yes, you can. Can you buy a third property? Yes, you can. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yes, you can. The bottom line is that there is no restriction here, because remember, when you're buying your properties in a company, the debt is sitting in a company. Are companies designed to have a limit? Not necessarily so. Now, again, there is banks out there that will be able to accommodate you on that. They can see that you are building a vehicle, the company. You are building a company that is wanting to grow in asset and wanting to grow in cash flow. So for as long as the cash flow can sustain the business itself, they are going to throw money to you. That's all. Yes. So yes, I've answered that question. Can a new business, yes, that registered today, yesterday, can it go and buy a property? The answer is yes, and now you know how to do it. In the description, I'll be able to put in details of my favorite bond originator. He runs out a franchise of his own out in Maryland, and with that, he is not just a bond originator. I call him the money guy, and the money guy will be able to find money for us to buy them properties. I hope this makes sense, and if there's any other comments, let me know in the comments. But until we meet again, I hope this information has been good for you. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.